so does music. I want to welcome you for today's show. Okay, so let's get started with that intro.
Girl, trying to remember when we didn't have no shoes, how we made it downtown to the welfare office. Just me, just you. Took a long time trying to get what we got now, baby. Don't you go away and give it up to no other man. I couldn't understand. Don't let, don't let the green grass move. Oh, no, baby, don't let it change your mind. Yeah, it's gonna be hard trying to start our lives all over. Hey, mama, you got the kind of loving that I need. Oh, yeah. And if you ever leave me down in the dumps without stopping, check my heart. Ooh, yeah. I don't think I'll live to see a brand new day. I wanna hear you do it to me. Say, don't let the green grass fool you. No, don't let it, don't let it change your mind. Oh, we must be greener. Don't wait until the best of yeah. Oh, no. Right here, girl, and you speak back on mine. Just wait
Okay, welcome this morning. Today we're going to look at the slap bass king, Mr. Larry Graham, one in a million, and I'll be right back. Oh, wait. First is Duchess. No. Say hello, Duchess. Say hi. Throw a flying kiss. Throw a flying kiss. Throw a flying kiss. Take me. Say hello, man. Say hello. Throw a flying kiss, Duchess. There you go. That's my little girl. You heard the song, huh? She's already itching for the stage. I got action. Girl, you know I got cash. I say, but you know something? I sit here all day, wasting time away, thinking about leaving you. That life is just where you belong. Come on, give it to me, don't let it fool you, baby. Don't let it change your mind. Okay, I want to welcome you to the Sunday Morning Classics. And like I said, today we're focusing on Larry Graham, who is the slap bass king, or the bass king slap. You'll see, you'll get the message. But anyway, I've been out for a couple of Sundays. I think it was last Sunday before, I had a brown out and something like that. And right now I'm kind of like in a weird space, but I'm shaking it. It seems that since I quit smoking, it's like I'm having problems breathing and all this stuff. I said, wait a minute, that's not supposed to happen. My breathing's supposed to get better. But for some reason or another, I found myself really needing to go to the doctor and get checked out desperately because I am in a little pain. and sometimes the pain just won't let me move. All right, so let's jump into it. Let's put a little beam footage in. There wasn't a lot I could find about Mr. Graham, but what I did find about it, I find out on him, I'm going to share with you. All right, so let's get started with this beam footage on Mr. Larry Graham.
Hello.
Hello, is this Larry Graham?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Larry. This is Dustin Wellness from KMSU Radio.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Do you have a few minutes? We can ask you some questions?
Sure do.
Excellent. First of all, I'm here with my co-host, Ton.
Hey there, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm great. I'm glad we got you on the line here.
Oh, good, good, good.
Well, we will start off and ask you, I guess, the basic question. What made you decide to start playing the bass? What made you start that?
Actually, I played guitar before bass. I should back up a little even more. I played other instruments. I started out on piano, and then I went from piano. I played drums in school. I played clarinet and saxophone. So those instruments were actually first. And then when I was 11, my father gave me his guitar because he wasn't going to play anymore, and I taught myself guitar. And then my mother and I started working together. My mother was, she was a pianist, and we started working together.
You know, it's funny because when I was on the Islip Art Town Council board, we hosted the New York Philharmonic every summer. We did a number of concerts throughout the year, but that was our big one. And because I was a board member and had access, I often would interview some of the musicians. And often the time, you know, whenever I do find whether they're playing the violin or playing the piano, I ask them, you know, what made them decide to play that instrument. And more times than not, they always said, my mother made me play. And you know, it's funny, I think all artists start off at the same. You know, they all start off, you know, hating to play an instrument, the mother making them play it. And then gradually they go to school and they show they can play something, and now they are attracting attention. And then eventually they get the courage to play in front of audience, and audience will like them, and then they really latch on to the instrument and get girls, and then they latch on to the instrument. But it's funny how he says how he started out playing with his mother.
When I was 15, with me on the guitar, we started working together. My mother on piano, with me on guitar, and we had a drummer. And then this one club we worked in had an organ that had the bass pedals that go halfway across. You see those, right? Mm-hmm. And so I taught myself to play the bass pedals at the same time playing the guitar. And so we had bottom. And we got used to that, and the organ broke down. So now we sounded empty not having that bottom. And so I thought, well, I'll just rent a bass to hold down the bottom until the organ could be repaired, and I'll go back to guitar. And but as it turned out, the organ couldn't be repaired, so I got stuck on the bass. So it's kind of like by accident I got on the bass. And then after a while, my mother decided that we weren't going to have drums. It was just going to be bass and piano with no drummer. So that's when I started thumping the strings to make up for not having that, you know, that bass drum, and plucking the strings to make up for not having that backbeat. And so it's kind of like kind of playing drums on bass, to make up for not having that drummer. And that's how that started.
So you're universally credited with coming up with that technique, but maybe your mom was responsible.
She's more responsible.
Awesome.
I think she's more responsible. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And actually,
You know what's happening, Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will, and we're in the Philippines, and you know, anything's subject to happen when it comes down to this internet, this Wi-Fi situation. So let's see what happens. Let's see if I can speed up No, not gonna help. Doo-doo. Well, you know it. Says offline. I don't know why. Just give me a second here and let me take some emergency action and see what's happening here. Okay. Okay, we got it back.
Hello?
Hello.
Refer to it as getting stuck on the page.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost on the corner of Haight and Ashbury. And lead guitar player, you know.
Wow. So then tell us kind of about, I mean, how did you get from hanging out jamming with your mom and, you know, creating all these things into Sly and the Family Stone? How did that happen?
Well, what happened, you know, when you play clubs, sometimes you get like regulars, people that come in like all the time. And so there was this one lady, she was a regular at this club, Relax with Yvonne. It was right almost on the corner of Haight and Ashbury. And
That's where I had my photography studio, Haight Fillmore. So it was like 1 block away the club was.
went all the time, and she really loved what me and my mom did. And but she was also a fan of Sly Stones. He was on KSOL radio in San Francisco. And she found out that he was going to be starting a band. And on her own, we didn't find this out till later, but she started calling the radio station and telling him, you got to hear this bass player, you got to hear this bass player. Because Sly played bass himself, and he might have been the bass player of the band. He hadn't heard me, but
I didn't know that.
he came down and heard me doing this we're playing the bass, and asked me to join his band, and that's how that happened.
Can you tell us a little bit about, you know, like a typical studio session for you guys? How did you come up with the songs? And I mean, what was the vibe like in the studio?
Well, the vibe was really interesting. It was always positive and up. We were a lot like a family. Freddie and Sly were actually brothers, and Rose is their fleshly sister, and later that did some things with us too. And Sly was the songwriter, but a part of his genius, in addition to the great songs that he created, is he allowed each player, especially the rhythm section, he allowed us to contribute what we do. He didn't try to make me play the way he might play a bass line, or try to make Freddie play the guitar the way he would play a guitar line.
Yes.
He played guitar as well, Sly did.
You were absolutely
But
right.
he let us contribute what we would do. Same thing with Greg Rico.
We're gonna dive in.
beats like Dance to the Music, and
You're absolutely right about Larry and Prince, and we're gonna touch on that too. So don't get ahead, my brother. But welcome aboard.
things like that. He would write the songs, but he would let us contribute our style of playing whatever bass line or drum line or guitar line we'd come up with and stuff. So we kind of, we were never credited as writers, but we did get a chance to contribute.
And around that time, you guys had an integrated band. You know, you had black members and what.
Now, to me, that shows love. There wasn't all that squabble about who wrote this, who edited this, who was co-writer of the song. Just look, man, all we did was just play, man, and it just worked out good. Everybody was allowed to contribute what they wanted to contribute, and as a result, superstars.
Members, and really that was unheard of at that time. What are your thoughts on that?
although money did play a part in Sly and the Family Stone many years later, but still, it wasn't about that. It was about the family and the love for playing music.
Did that ever cause you guys any trouble? I mean, as far as playing out and those sorts of things?
Well, we also had male and female too, which was a little different. We had 2 girls in the group.
You may have missed it, but he's talking about them being in not only interracial group, but also an intergender group.
Cynthia and Rose in the beginning, and so yeah, we were mixed all the way around, but it was really no trouble. I think more of a contributing factor in that I think we probably maybe broaden our audience. I think because of having male and female and black and white, and then our music was also a combination of different genres. So I think all of that helped contribute to the music. And you asked me earlier too about recording, and I didn't get a chance to add this one part, but another thing that really I think that helped our music a lot is we did a lot of stuff live. It wasn't, in the beginning especially, it wasn't a super amount of overdubbing. We did a lot of live stuff. So a lot of times we would capture in the studio what we would capture on stage live. So I think that added to the feel, especially on, some of the high energy songs.
For sure. Now, Family Stone, I mean, that's really, for many other bands since then, have been listed as, a major influence for them in the direction they've gone. Did you guys ever, I guess, imagine that you were kind of paving some trail for other musicians, or what are your thoughts on that?
No, not really. You always hope for this, but I don't think we expected, especially as big of a boost in our career as we got after we played Woodstock, because no one actually knew that Woodstock was going to be so huge, and internationally huge. So no one expected that, and that night we didn't really realize what was happening ourselves. But after the success of Woodstock, then our careers just took off. And then for me personally, I never felt like I was coming up with
my brother and I got an offer to go to Woodstock back in the day, and my mother didn't want us to go, but my mother was smart. She said, "Would you like to go to the movies?" And my brother, I said, "Yeah." The hell with Woodstock. Let's go to the movies. And we went to the movies. I'll never forget that movie. It's called 5 Card Stud with Dean Martin, Robert Mitchum, Yoto, the brother, Ronnie McDowell. And it was a good movie, 5 Card Stud. You got to see that movie if you get a chance. But yeah, she conned us.
We are playing the bass, or I never really thought about it. But then other bands, like especially cover bands, if they were going to cover our tunes, like Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself or Dance to the Music, they pretty much had to play the bass like me for it to sound like that. And at first, a lot of musicians didn't know what I was doing by just hearing the records. But then when they saw us...
Right, Jamrock, I thought I could read it without taking a picture of it, but, I missed it. My eyes are bad, so I try to look closely at it. But then you see, I always read from the bottom up. I wish I could change that far, but I can't help it. Whenever I read something, I go right to the last page and read backwards.
More and more TV shows like that.
Well, shoot it to me again is what I want to say.
And saw more videos, and they saw how I was playing with my thumbs and fingers. So I didn't know that style was going to become the way to play the bass.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the band was going to have such a big influence as a band as we did. But yeah, it all turned out great.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you also mentioned Woodstock there. Do you have any outstanding kind of memories of that, or can you talk to us about that at all?
Well, the most outstanding thing is when we would play our songs, we would segue from one song right into the next song, and we may go several songs or more before we would stop, and you would actually get a chance to hear like the audience response. So when we flew in, it's dark. You really can't tell how many people are actually there at Woodstock. There's no way you have a feel for that. I mean, before we were playing much smaller venues, and so we're playing. When we finally did stop, to hear the roar
Wow.
of half a million people.
Wow.
It was like, wow.
Imagine
You
that.
know, we had never heard anything like that or felt that kind of energy.
Can you just imagine what it would feel like internally? To come from a small, doing small venues, to be in front of masses of people. I mean, the joy and it being the launching pad for your career.
And that really sent us up another level. You know, it helped us actually to tap into a zone musically that we hadn't been before. I think we played the best that night ever. You know, I kind of liken it sometimes to maybe the first time Michael Jordan took off from the free throw line. And wow, I can do that. It kind of took us to a whole other zone. So now every concert after that, you know, it had to measure up to Woodstock.
Woodstock, yeah.
And you played with the Family Stone for quite a while, but eventually you left the group. Can you tell us a bit about that and how you went on to form Graham Central Station?
Yeah, actually, when I left Family Stone, I was really just going to produce another band and write for them because I was a songwriter as well. But I had no intentions of starting my own band. That was the furthest thing from my mind. So I put together this band, and I built it around hot chocolate. Her name is Patrice Banks, and her nickname is Chocolate. So I named the band Hot Chocolate and built it around her. And some of the songs that I had written and recorded, I was just going to feature her, and I would be the producer, songwriter. And but one night they were playing this gig at a club called Bimbo's in San Francisco, and the audience, they knew I was there, obviously, and they knew the connection between the band and me and Sly and the Family Stone and so forth. So the place was packed out, and it's getting down to the end of the show, and all of a sudden the audience started urging me to go up and play with them, to sit in at the end of the show, and I did. And when I did, they just shifted into a whole nother gear. And the band knew something special had just happened. I knew it, the audience knew it, and obviously I should be in that band, not just the producer and songwriter. So it was just the audience urging that happened.
How about that? If you missed it, he put together a band and everything, and they were performing, and people noticed that him there, and say, Larry, we know who you are. We know you with Sly. We know you get down. Come on stage and jam with us. Come on stage and jam. And that's what he ultimately did, and what have you. But yeah, man, sometimes you can't get away from who you are, especially if you're good.
And so I just changed the name from Hot Chocolate to Graham Central Station, and rearranged some of the parts on the songs so that it featured more me and not just chocolate. Yeah, so that's how that happened too. That was another thing I didn't plan it, but not that way.
Well,
you released a lot of albums with them and also a lot of solo albums. Is there one that you prefer over the other? Do you like just being Larry Graham, or are you married to the? It
was different with the music kind of. My first solo record, One in a Million You, actually, because it was such a departure from the Graham Central Station sound that the record company really didn't like it. and they did not want to release it. But I had a clause in my contract that allowed me to pick the single from my albums, and they didn't really.
Just think about that. Just think about how much music you missed overall because a label decided that they didn't want you to do that song. But the artist was able to have control in their contract, at least in Larry's case, where he says, I can pick the song. And he picked that one. And he was right. 1 in a million. 1 in a million is still being played today at weddings and special occasions, birthdays. Because you know why? Because you're 1 in a million. And all had to be done at the persistence of Larry Graham overriding the label. We may have never would have heard it.
But I did, and I went with 1 in a Million You, and it turned out to be one of my biggest records, bigger than any of my Graham Central Station records, actually.
Yeah.
How about that?
And so it was kind of more a difference in the sound for between Graham Central Station and my solo stuff.
Well, we are huge Prince fans here. You obviously played with him for quite a while. Can you kind of tell us how you guys met up and what it was like playing with Prince?
Yeah, we met. I just finished. I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but Sinbad did this big HBO special in Aruba, and he had all these different bands and things. And then from that whole lineup of bands at the HBO special, he put together a little tour of the U.S. of Earth, Wind and Fire, Graham Central Station, and Tina Marie, and then himself. So we were touring, and this one particular night, we were in Nashville, Tennessee. We were playing the amphitheater, and Prince was playing the big arena there in town.
Your Prince
And
connection.
he heard I was in town, and what I didn't know at the time is that he was basically raised up on my music and signed the Family Stone, more so Graham Central Station, because by the time we came along, he was older and more into writing and producing his music. So he was heavily influenced by Graham Central Station. So when he heard I was in town, he invited me to come over for one of his after parties, which I know you've heard of this famous after parties, after shows. And so
You know what's funny? I don't know how old this is, but even way back then, we're talking about was backslide and all that stuff, whatever. Before he started playing with Brent, they were talking about after parties. This probably was before P. Diddy's shit, but still, you know what? I'm gonna tell you a story because it's about Hollywood stories. I had a friend in Los Angeles, and in Los Angeles, he was a promoter. His name was Marcus Miller. He did a lot of stuff for Death Row. He did a lot of stuff for Cash Money. He did a lot of stuff for Tupac. He did a lot of promoting for a lot of the big acts during this time. And he contacted me because he asked me to put one of his artists on the cover of the magazine. And I said, okay, Marcus, I'll do that. Because I came out to Los Angeles and it gave me access to Money B, cocaine. Those you don't know cocaine is. A lot of the artists back, Tupac's whole entourage and all that stuff, I hung out with him. You even played poker with the dealer was topless. Oh my God. Check. Call. That's a whole different poker game when you're playing with a dealer that's topless. I play poker here in the Philippines and they got shows up the heels like, God damn, girl, what's wrong with you, But but it be that as I smoke on it too. But anyway, so what happened was that he contacted me and said, Gerard, look, he said Drake is having right jam Marcus Miller. Oh no shit. Rag Jam Rock, Marcus Miller. Oh, see, I should tell you about my boy Rag Jam Rock. Rag Jam Rock, as long as you keep it under 3 words or 4 words, I can read it. But anyway, he called me and said, Gerard, he says, Drake is doing a concert at Jones Beach. We need a place to do an after-hour party. We need a place that holds a minimum of 1,500 people. Don't worry about Gerard. The tickets are sold. The money's all yours. Don't worry about it. He says, whatever promotion, whatever advertisement you want to pull along, it's all yours. We just need a place that holds a minimum of 1,500 people. And that's it. Oh, and Birdman, it was $30,000 for the was it 30 or 60, whatever it is. Let's say 60,000. And he says, oh yeah, 60,000, because he says I want $30,000 at the signing of the contract, saying that you would take on this after-hour party. Now I was looking for strip clubs. I was looking for strip clubs in Brooklyn. I was looking for strip clubs in Queens that held a minimum of 1,500 people, because I wanted to have this after-hour party done in the strip club. So I'm riding around trying to find it, whatever. So, and at the same time, trying to find this 15,000, it's 30,000 money to put up front the signing of the contract. So anyway, so I found somebody, this guy who used to run with me, and he was, what was his name? Oh my God, Anderson, I can't remember. Winston Anderson. He was a realtor in Long Island. I'd flown him out, his group out to Los Angeles before, and etc. But anyway, he said, okay, Gerard, I'll put up the 30,000, because after our party was big money, big money. So they wanted 30,000 at the signing of the contract, and Birdman wanted the other 30,000 cash between his legs in the car before he got out. That was the agreement. That was the arrangement. That was how it was. So I said, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Because I figured once I got the 30,000, I could pull in a lot of advertisers and promoters. All that money's mine. I'd have to share with nobody. It was all my money. And so, so it turned out that Winston's wife, her name is Janet. Janet didn't want him to get into any more entertainment. Because one thing that a lot of realtors do, or real estate people do in Los Angeles or whatever, they try to buy their way into the entertainment business. And they do that by either trying to manage or try to come on a movie project or whatever. But oftentimes they are real estate moguls or real estate people who got all this cash. So anyway, Janet already had her hands full with them before with this other group called Too Deep. Too Deep was the ones who I brought them out to Los Angeles. And so she said no. She told him no. But this is after I've already got the okay. In fact, you can go on my YouTube channel. Let me see, which one is it? It might be S as in Sam, G as in George, I as in India, B as in Bravo magazine on YouTube. And look down there and you'll see me doing my praise dance. And that's the praise dance I did about having to get that money. Oh my God, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Oh, God is great. God is it. I'm doing this praise dance about getting this money. So anyway, what happened was that she shut it down. She said no. So I told Marcus, I said, Marcus, I can't come up with the money. I can't come up. I tried. I couldn't come up with the money. So he said, okay, Gerard, don't worry. He said, Gerard, we have a lot of them. He says, whenever you could, I realized that you got to have at least $30,000 cash under your mattress all the time if you want to get into this game. So that's what I realized. So anyway, now what happened at that concert? Those of you who may remember that was the after-hour party where Drake and Chris Brown had beef. I don't know who threw the champagne bottle or whatever bottle. They threw it and glass hit one of the waitresses or the blah, 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 blah. And a fight broke out and they shut the whole thing down. And I'm thinking, oh my God. I said, thank you, Jesus. Oh, because I could have lost a lot of money on that thing. I probably would still been answering lawyers today. But, I didn't get another. I mean, if I got the money, I can always get into that game, but I don't have the money. Okay, let's get back to Larry Graham.
I went over to jam with him for the first time, and when I got up on the stage, to my surprise, like everywhere I went musically, he was like right there, like he'd been playing with me for years.
How about that?
And it caught me off guard because I didn't know he knew anything about the music. But as it turned out, he did, and we hit it off musically like, like crazy. And then he asked me, when you finish with the Sinbad tour, would you come and join my tour and open up for my show? And that's how it started. And then we ended up moving to Minnesota, and I continued to work with him. We did the GCS 2000 CD, and I did some work on some of his CDs as well. And then Shaka Khan was recording with us at the same time. So we had all the studios in Paisley Park in full swing. And that's really how we hooked up. And since then, we just became like, best of friends, more like brothers.
So then, is it safe to say that you'll be playing with him for quite a while into the future then?
Well, yeah, we're always doing stuff together. I mean, I live not far away from Paisley Park, so, we're always, recording something or jamming together or, just having fun. But, I live in Minnesota now, so I think it's safe to say that we will be doing other things in the future.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
Yeah.
Well, is there any other projects you have that you're working on right now, or anything else you want to mention?
My latest is my new album, Raise Up, and that has 3 songs on there. It features Prince, and one of the songs also feature Raphael Sadiq, and then I also did a remake.
Raphael Sadiq, if you don't know who he is, that's the lead singer for Tony. He also done Lucy Pearl or something like that or whatever. He is awesome. He is awesome. He's done stuff with Earth, Wind, and Fire, all that stuff. Oh, man. Raphael Sadiq. I'll tell you another story. This is another Hollywood story. I got a call because whenever Interscope or Warner Brothers had an artist who they wanted to have an interview with, they would contact my magazine. So they contacted me about Raphael Sadiq putting out a new album. I went down to meet him at a restaurant, and he said, "Do you want lunch?" I said, "No, I'll wait outside." So I wait outside. So we outside. This is down by the, Broadway, by the Broadway area, that area and whatever. And so when we walked outside, there was a lot of people around. So I got to take a picture of this brother. I'm going to take this picture. All these people, this brother. So I said, okay, Raphael, bend down. So Raphael bent down where he was lower than everybody else walking around him. And everybody else around him looked like they were all background behind him. And poof, I took the picture, got the picture. It was great, very nice. But anyway, I got another call that they were having a hip-hop, celebration in Central Park. And Raphael Sadiq was going to be there, so they asked if I wanted to interview again. So I said, sure. I love this guy. So we go there, and I interview him and what have you. And there are a lot of hip-hop acts performing and whatever, And then Houdini came on. Now, I decided to come in the front, and I'm standing right in front. I'm like that close to the guy performing or whatever. And, he's singing, the freaks come out at night or whatever they're singing or whatever, friends, how many of them. So this big tall brother was standing next to me. I said, yo, which one's Houdini? He looked at me and said, which one's Houdini? Which one's Houdini? Who are you? What are you doing here? Yeah, which one's Houdini? I said, ooh. Another confirmation I didn't know anything about hip-hop. So I kind of tiptoed away with my tail behind my legs or whatever. But that's my show with Raphael Sadiq. So come on, let's get back to Larry Graham.
Stevie Wonder's Higher Ground. And so that's my latest project that came out not long ago, Raise Up. So, I want everybody to know about that. And so we're touring now and supporting that new album.
Yeah, awesome. We'll definitely have to check it out.
Yeah, and they could check out my website, LarryGraham.com. It's all one word, LarryGraham.com. You can find out more about getting some autographed CDs, as well as we're also offering vinyl. And the vinyl albums actually come with a CD as well, so you get the vinyl and the CD all in one package.
Wow.
And you can get that through the website.
That's what I'll be getting.
Yeah.
Well, Larry, it's been an honor to have you on with us today. Do you have any final thoughts you want to leave us with?
Well, other than the fact that check out the new album, and when we come to town, because we're currently touring the U.S. As well as Europe. Please come and see us and come and have some fun. With Grand Central Station. We'll try to help raise you up too.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Ooh.
Well, thanks a lot for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure.
All right. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was an interview with Larry Graham. I know you guys are ready for some music. So let's see what we have next coming up. There were a lot of good stories I was able to tell you during that segment. So I appreciate it. Nope.
Hello.
Okay, now since the first group that he started, well, it was Chocolate Beyond the Girl, but he started Graham Central Station, which I always thought it was Grand Central Station, Grand, like Grand Central Station in New York. That's why I didn't know it was Graham Central Station, but here he is. I figure it'd be good to put in a song of him performing with his group called Graham Central Station. Look at that brother. Talk about back in the day. Notice how it starts. Yo, wow, wow, wow. You made me go. Wow, wow, wow. You made me sigh. Soul music. Can you handle it? That's the name of the song. Can you handle it? Don't forget to hit that like button and thank you for joining me. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, that was Larry Graham. Can you handle it? Okay, now let's dive into the talent that what he has with called Yes, Duchess. So you about the slap guitar. So let's hear a couple of other artists who acknowledged and appreciated his gift.
And then the guys came along like Larry Graham, who opened up, before he came along. You never heard that. No. You never heard it. So he opened up a whole world for people to try to start experimenting with that thing.
When Larry Graham came along with this stuff, it was like, wow.
When my friends heard his playing, they came to me and just said, you gotta hear this guy, you will not believe. And I couldn't believe it was a bass because he had all this pulling and slapping and yanking on the strings, and it was like, how do you get that sound? When my mother and I worked together, when I started playing bass, I was 15. We had drums, bass, and piano for a while, and then my mother decided there was going to be no more drums, just bass and piano. So now, to make up for not having that bass drum, I would thump the strings with my thumb, and to make up for not having that backbeat on the snare drum, I would pluck the strings with my fingers. So I'm basically trying to compensate for no drums, playing drums on the bass. And that's really how I came up with the style, out of necessity.
Necessity, the mother
I
of
look at all
invention.
this, what we call slapping now. When I grew up, it was called thumping. Larry Graham thumping and plucking. So all this slapping and thumping stuff, for me, is rhythmic. I think drums.
Lenny White, the drummer Lenny White, he loves when I give him credit. He's the guy that taught me how to slap on the bass. He said, no, man, you got to do it like this. And he had a real primitive way of doing it. And I said, wow, what is that again, Lenny? I said, is that music?
Is that Stanley Clark? I don't know.
He said, man, you got to try this thing, man.
Wait, let's hear the end of this. They didn't show the names of the people who were being interviewed, but that last one looked like Stanley Clark. I know Stanley Clark, but Stanley Clark was also a bass player. Maybe next week we did bass this time, but I gotta put Stanley Clark on my list of artists to do. But let's put all that together. Let's put all it together about how he learned the bass and how it came about. And this next song is called Killer Slap Bass with Larry Graham.
1, 2, 3.
Larry Graham. Graham Central Station. Sly and the Family Stones. And Prince. And you're watching Gerard, the #1 soul brother of the Philippines. Show them how it's done, Larry. Look at that. Wow. Oh. Woo. All right, that was Mr. Larry Graham and the Killer Slap Bass. He was just kind of showing off there a little bit about what he did. Like I say, ain't no words to this song. You know. This one, I want to play this song before I get too far away from it, because we talked about Sly and the Family Stones, and he spoke about how he joined them. So I didn't want to get too far away from you being able to see Larry Graham playing with Sly and the Family Stones. And of course, it starts up with that. If you're not singing the words of this song, what are you doing here?
Dance to the music all night long. Everyday people sing a simple song. Mama's so happy. Mama's got right. Papa's still singing.
Singing, we can make it if we try. I wanna
Thank you for letting me be myself again. Thank you for letting me be myself again. Thank you for letting me be myself again. I want to thank you for letting me be myself again. 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 Thank you for letting me be myself.
Okay, that was Sly and the Family Stone featuring Mr. Larry Graham. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. You know, I really hope you guys are enjoying this. You know, this is a little conversation that he was having when he did an interview with Prince. So I want you to check this out.
There's a lot of temptation out in the world. By your side, usually you do all right.
So you are a loving brother, aren't you, Mr. Graham?
I try to be.
You always succeed in doing that, or?
Yeah, so, yeah, I feel so. We have a very close relationship. We spend a lot of time digging deep into the truth and deep into gaining more knowledge and drawing closer to our Creator, and that's very, very important. And then as a result, then you become closer to people around you that you love and that love you.
So working with the artist is more than just making music.
Oh yeah, it's we.
If you listen carefully, he said working with the artists, but this was the time when Prince was not using the name Prince, that he changed his name to a symbol that couldn't be pronounceable. So, you know, I think the media did the same working with the artists. Now, the reason why he was called the artist was because on every contract that an artist enters into, it says, you know, this is a contract between Gerard and so-and-so, formerly, you know, AKA the artist, who will be known as the artist throughout the rest of this contract. See, now, it makes it easy for them to just change that part and leave everything the same, the artist. But because of the artist, the word the artist was used to represent you, then that's why he changed his name to I'm the artist. You know, so anyway, so, yeah, so that's why. So he says
Connected heart to heart. And then out of the heart comes the music. That's the.
But I wanted to equate that to that should give you a pinpoint on when this interview was being done.
It's the gift. But if we weren't connected heart to heart, then it would just be playing music with another musician, you know. And he's done that. I've done that. You know. Now is a special time in our life. We get a chance to play with people that we really, really, really care about deep inside.
Yeah. Can you always follow him in his very, let's say, specific ideas?
Well, he allows me freedom of thought, freedom of expression, you know.
So you're laughing.
Well, I'm actually smiling because it makes me happy, the thought, you know.
But for example, when the artist says, I celebrate the day I die, that's an idea you can follow completely?
Well, each day is a special gift from God. It's he being the source of life. And yesterday is kind of like in the past. Yesterday did die, but we're looking forward to tomorrow, as he said a minute ago. We're always looking forward and not trying to look back. We can learn from things that we've done in the past, especially if we made some mistakes, and especially gain wisdom by applying the knowledge that we've gained in the past, and that'll help us to have a more successful future.
That's
so
what it's all about.
yeah, so we're always looking forward, not only with our spiritual life, but our family life, and also with our music. We're always looking straight ahead.
Once a person gets a firm grip of life and death, then they fully understand both. For example, you had how many birthdays?
Nate, what do you think?
Check this out.
Well, I know that you had one birthday.
Yeah.
You were born on a certain day.
Absolutely.
You had no more birthdays after that. So I don't celebrate birthdays. So that
You see, that's what I did with my daughters. You know, because we were estranged or whatever, I told my daughters that I was Muslim, which I was, you know, but the more so reason why I told them was because, you know, I don't celebrate birthdays. You know, there was a lot of times in my life when our birthday just passed and I didn't know if it was till someone told me, Gerard, you know, your birthday just passed. Oh, really? Oh, okay. You know, like I said, I never had a birthday cake till I was like age, I think I'm like 54 or somewhere around there that had my name written on it. Because it never meant anything to me. Everything, all these holidays, everything, they're just another day. You know, people ask me, you know, what year was that? I said, man, I don't know. Life has been one long, continuous moment. And that's how I looked at it, as one long, continuous moment.
stops me from counting days, which stops me from counting time, which allows me to still look the same as I did 10 years ago.
Look at your boy, look at your boy. Okay, that was a little something from Prince and Larry Graham having an interview together. Okay, this next song, I'm gonna play this. Don't play this another song here before I do this song. This is another song from Graham Central Station, and it's called "Is It Love?" So I want you to hear. Yeah. The brother was borderline Barry White. You know, he made them songs that were, you know, made babies.
Let's introduce everybody. I understand that to new people. Okay, on organ, of course, who has been with me from Jump Street, it's Robert Sound. We call him Butch. And then on guitar, we have a new member of the group, is Jimmy Taylor. He's from down in Los Angeles. And we have Gaylord Smash and Bash and Flash Birch on drums. And then we have another new member, of course, my wife, Tina, who sings my radio show, It Sounds Good to Me. And she's a new member to the group. And she also plays funk box. This little instrument right here. We have Nathan Ginsberg, and he's our keyboard man, synthesizers and all those things. And then me. You're gonna do another song from the album now. Yeah, we're gonna do a ballad. It's a song that I did sing it. It's called "Is It Love?" Except for we need one more thing the next time we come back here. See, since your voice is so much lower than mine, we need you to say, "Yeah, yep, Bobby, yeah." I could say it, but it wouldn't be in key. How about it for Larry Graham and Graham Central?
watching Gerard Sunday Morning Classics. As time goes by, so does music as the #1 soul brother of the Philippines.
What I'm feeling inside, it must be love because my nose is open wide. Some people think that love is just a game, and when it comes to breaking hearts, we feel no pain. But what you need is someone just like me, because I'm loving, kind, and I'm understanding. Yeah, I'm a capable man and I'm not demanding. Is it love that I feel? Many people fall in love, but not for real. I'm so full of desire. I just wanna hold you and squeeze you, baby, like your fire. Some people just don't know quite how love feels. But when it makes you act like this, whoa, wait, baby, it is real. I've always wanted someone just like you. Because you love and kind and you understand it. Yeah, you're a beautiful girl and you're not This is love, I know it's love that I feel. I found out for myself that is real. That my feeling deep down inside. Oh, this love, baby, you're the reason why. Some people think that love is just a game. And when it comes to breaking hearts, baby, that's enough pain. But baby, from now on, it's me and you. But you're loving, kind, and you understand. You're a beautiful girl, and you're not demanding.
that was Larry Graham. Love is. Okay, we're getting close to the end of the show, and I've yet to do anything with Prince and Larry Graham. Now, this next song I'm gonna play is called, Sometimes I Feel Like a Motherless Child. And this song, now I'm a Prince fan. This is the first time I've seen this song or this video. So let's watch it together, right? Larry Graham. It says Prince featuring Larry Graham. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child.
Let's bring the lights down right low just a little bit. You know, there was never any reason to argue. There was never any reason to fight. From the first time Adam made love to Eve, first time she took the bite, there was never any reason. Clap your hand. Hallelujah. Oh, mama, mama, why you put me on the street? I'm only 12 years old. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Come on, good, listen. Oh, what you did? Yes, baby. And love, let me alone. Sometimes I feel I wanna break down. Yeah. Sometimes I feel I wanna break down. Sometimes I feel I wanna break down.
That's the man, that's the man, that's the man. If you weren't with me, I don't know what show it was, but I did 2 segments on Prince. You should go back and check out that music and some of my favorites of Prince songs. Sometimes when I ask somebody, I said, I'm a Prince, they said, so am I. I said, oh yeah, really? What's your favorite Prince song? They say Purple Rain. I say, get the flock out of here. You don't know anything about Prince. If you're talking about Purple Rain is your favorite song, that already tells me that you're lying. Because Prince has done a lot more work. Better than Purple Rain. space, boy. You know, whenever I go to clubs, whenever I dance, or I know I'm having a good time. Because when I dance, I move to the sound of the bass. If a song hasn't got a good bass line in it, I ain't moving. I'm not dancing to it. You know, I listen for that bass because that bass, the bass gives me a reason to move. You see what I'm saying? So that's how important the bass is to me. You hear the man, remember the band said, go ahead, bust it out, brother. Go bust it out, bust it out. They're like he was doing like hip hop stuff. Go bust it out. But he kept his cool. Watching Prince featuring Larry Graham.
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes, just like a Richie, I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes, come on, Mike, come on, I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. love for you like a motherless child.
All right, that was Prince. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. And featuring Larry Graham. We're gonna go to the next video. It already started, so we got one more video to play up to this one. But this Larry Graham's gonna tell you a little bit more about working with some of the other artists and some of the groups that he's been with. And I got some more stories for you.
Do you remember
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Cold Sweat, you know, was just,
Yes, he played with James Brown.
I was like, I'll break out in a cold sweat. That was just so funky. You see James doing them steps and sliding on one leg all the way across the stage. It's like, hey, nobody could do stuff he was doing. And he influenced so many people, not only with his singing, but his dancing.
Showmanship.
Everything. His band, musicianship, his showmanship. He was king.
I remember y'all performed on the stage and Bill was saying the Newport. Do you remember that the Newport girl?
Yeah.
You can't really hear her question, which is irrelevant. It's his answer that kind of paints the picture for you.
And I found it interesting that he came up with the wrong substitution.
All right. Right.
Do you think it might have been any influence on it?
I think that with the prominence of James Brown, Sly and the Family Stone, Hendrix, Beatles, all those type of groups that were strong in what they did, you couldn't help but influence each other, I'm sure that when you really listen carefully, you hear people taking little bits and pieces from each other.
I do.
Just to influence. I hear it. Overall. I hear James Brown's music and a lot of other people's music. I hear Sly and the Family Stone stuff. Hendrix influence. There's that overlapping, and that's what happens when you're that prominent and that strong in what you do. People.
And hindi pa tayo nag-start ng maglaro dito. Na tayo makukuha dito na offline.
People will imitate and emulate you even if they're not really consciously trying to do so. Can't help it. You're the influence at that time.
I remember other big bands in this period, we're talking mid-70s, like Prominent Funkadelic.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of that?
We like the funk. Prominent Funkadelic, we did a show with them in Radio City Music Hall in New York City, Graham Central Station, Parliament Funkadelic, right? And it was funny because George, the way to do the show, you'd roll a coffin out on the stage and all the lights would be down, and this coffin would open up, and then this arm would pop out, then this leg would pop out, then all of a sudden, whoa, we like the funk. Audience would go like nuts, right? But my wife is watching this whole performance, getting out the coffin and all this.
I've covered Bootsy and interviewed him a couple of times, as well as Diaper Man is also another member of Funkadelic. But yeah, Bootsy used to play with the Godfather Soul, Mr. James Brown, and this is when he coined the phrase P-Funk. We're not gonna go into speculation why, but let your imagination go. But this is the formation of P-Funk, and James just couldn't take it. But because a lot of people just wanted to hear Bootsy.
Stuff. And after the show, I tell her, hey, baby, I want you to come backstage. I want you to meet somebody. She said, who? I said, I want you to meet George Clinton. She said, I said, well, why? She said, no. I said, come on, baby. I said, look, he's really a nice guy, you know. No. And so finally, I was able to convince her to come backstage and meet George, right? And the whole time she was in the dressing room, she was like standing behind me, like peeking out. She was like scared to death. And George was like, oh, hi, Mrs. Graham, how are you? You know, pleased to meet you. And real nice and courteous and stuff. Blew Tina away, right? But she was really scared. And then she calmed down after she met him. He was so nice. Years later, last year when Sly and the Family Stone was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, who does the presentation but George Clinton, right? And so when we are in the back room, you know, a little reception room, and we see George and we're talking, hey, how you doing? Good to see you, so and so forth. And he tells my wife, we say, you know, by the way, he said, I remember when you were backstage at that concert in New York. He said, I know you were scared of me. And we was like, she was like, you really knew? How did She was like all blushing and embarrassed. It was funny. He really knew how scared she was and told her years later. But Parliament Funkadelic, bad dude. And George is still funking it.
When you talk about bass players, what about Bootsy Collins?
Oh, Bootsy's back. Yeah, Bootsy got he got his thing where, you know, when he plays, you know it's Bootsy. He has his own bag, you know what I'm saying? You know right away, you know, his sound, his approach, his attack, his attitude, you ever never do, baby. You know, it's like, nobody do Bootsy like Bootsy, you know? And, I mean, another bass player that I really love, Stanley Clarke.
Stanley Clarke.
You know, we did a tour together. In fact, wait, Stanley Clarke, we were asked to do a gig in Japan, me and Stanley, and so we decided to do it just bass, 2 basses and drums, nothing else, right? So Stanley comes over to my house, and I was living in Hollywood Hills at the time, and he comes over for rehearsal, and we sit down on the couch and we get to talking, and my wife bring out some sake, right? Give him some sake, I take some sake, and we sit there, we talk, and it's like, well, that was rehearsal. We never did pick up our actions at all. We just talked about, you know, we're gonna do this and do that. And we went to the gig, and he came out from one side of the stage, and I came from the other side. And we was marching toward each other. We getting closer and closer and closer. We got to the center of the stage there. And we just started going crazy, and the crowd went, oh. And the whole show must have been about an hour and a half or so. It was just basses, 2 basses, and drums. That was it. And it was one of the most incredible shows. I mean, I'm not saying it because I was one of the ones in it. I mean, I had never done anything like that, right? The people just went off. And after that, we did Brazil for about, it must have been about a month or something like that. We did Brazil together. And of course, Verdine White, Earth, Wind, and Fire. This bass right here, this bass, Verdine gave me this. Yeah, I came home, we was living in Marina Del Rey, and came home one day and got to the guard gate, and they said, well, we got a package for you.
I hung out with Verdine White of the Earth, Wind, and Fire in Hollywood, in the Hollywood Hills. I got an assignment to cover the party, but when I got there, they didn't want to have pictures taken. I was working for Bonnie. But then this was a time when videos were just becoming prominent. They were still making, and I remember them showing, the people who were producing them were showing off Duran's videos, say, look, this is one that we just made, Duran, type of thing like that. This is how early it was, this is, you know, back then. And so everybody paired off, and I paired off, and I hung out with the woman who owned the house, and you know, and you know, we had a good time. At least I did. I remember her parting last words. Is that it? Yeah, baby. I got to my Triumph Spitfire. Oh, I'm taking a little envelope, you know, mail or something. It was like this big old box, you know. It's like, well, what's this? Oh, Mr. Verdine White left this for you. And you open it up, and then here's this beautiful bass that he gave me. And thanks, Verdine. That's my buddy.
What was their impact on the music? I mean, they came out with a whole nother thing.
Yeah, I think the Sly and the Family Stone had a big influence on Earth, Wind, and Fire. You can hear that, but then they have their own thing that they do. I think Sly and the Family Stone was just an influence, like it was for many other groups. But Earth, Wind, and Fire got into their own zone, and you could hear them doing anything. It could be a commercial on television or radio, and right away, Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know, it could be a 15-second spot. So they have a very unique sound. And then, of course, the unmistakable vocals of Mr. Philip Bailey. You know,
Maurice White.
Like that. You know? And I mean, it's
Philip
just,
too.
they have a uniqueness about them that when they're gonna do a show, people go crazy. You know.
Can't take it away from us.
What do you think is
I think this is a good time to throw in my Philip Bailey story that you probably heard 1,000 times. I got a call to go to the Blue Note to cover Philip Bailey, who was performing there. Now the Blue Note is a small club in New York City. If it holds 50 people, I'd be surprised. But the stage is so close that you can put your feet up on the stage and the waitress has to step over it. That's how close the stage is, you know, theoretically, to give you an idea. And he was playing all Earth, Wind, and Fire songs. His sons were playing songs. They were all doing the whole Earth, Wind, and Fire catalog. And then he says, "Good night." And I stood up. I said, "Philip, what about Reasons? You didn't sing Reasons." And he left off the stage. And I was like, "What the flock?" I said, I know I'm not the only one here to come here to hear you sing Reasons. And the only thing I can equate that to is that either, you know, he felt that he wasn't being paid enough, that he says, "I'll show you, I'm not gonna sing my signature song Reasons," or either, you know, you can't shit on your fans like that. If anything, you gotta stay loyal to your fans. So ever since then, you know, I went to one Earth, Wind, and Fire concert after Maurice White wasn't touring with him, and I was so disappointed because I'm a Maurice White fan. I love hearing his voice. I love hearing his contribution. You know, I listen for him. And when I didn't hear it, I said, "That's it. Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know, I would never go see another one at concerts." But I was very disappointed he didn't sing Reasons.
The Ohio players, when I think of the Ohio players, I also think of the Isley Brothers. Now, you're probably wondering why. And I won't leave you hanging. They made some of the best sounding records. I mean, these folks went into the studio and they just had it mastered down. They had the technique down of how to make a record just jump off your radio. I mean, just jump out at you, you know? And I just really just always loved, that's why I just put them two together. To me, they had some of the best sounding records. They really know how to work in the studio. And then, of course, I had the privilege of touring with both bands, the Ohio Players and Isley Brothers. We did some extensive touring together, and it was always fun. You know, and I hear they're back out now, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do something again, because, boy, it was fun. Yeah, fine, yeah. Say what?
I don't know, but I hear a little in that song. I see a little of Sly's and
Of course you do. Yeah, you hear the Sly influence in Sugar's voice, like you hear the Sly influence in Maurice White's voice. You know, there's a lot of people that Sly influenced just him alone with his voice. If you want me to stay, I'll be around today. I'll be available for you to say. I mean, who else sound like that, you know?
Okay. Thank you for joining me. Gerard, the #1 soul brother in the Philippines, and my Sunday morning classics. As time goes by, so does music. I'm happy and appreciative for each and every one of you who have joined me on today's thing. And of course, remember, dreams are nothing more than plans awaiting action. Never disrespect the elder those pull someone up. And sometimes you're the only one who can see your vision. And the best revenge in life is to live good. I'm living good today. I hope you are too. And if you're lucky enough to have a woman like Ali Woodson, former lead singer of the Temptations, one song, check out his Sunday Morning Classics. Treat her like a lady. And lady, if you're lucky enough to have a good man like me, make him feel like a king and never say no. Larry Graham, thank you. Okay, and with that being said, we're going to end this with his classic, One in a Million.
Started to believe I'd never find anyone. Doubted, tried to convince me to give in. Said you could win. Then one day the sun came shining through. The rain stopped in the sky of blue. And oh, what a revelation to see. Someone was saying I love you to me. A one in a million chance of a lifetime. A life showed compassion and said to me, was the road of all of you. A one in a million lonely land with empty arms to fill. Then I found a piece of happiness to call my own. And life is worth living again. For to love you to me is to live.